So, final piece of my trail truck build, essentially a FJ45 Cab. Obviously you can get one from MST as well. It also has molded plastic parts and it's a lot more scale, but this was about 5 times as cheap. I'll try this out, and well, it doesn't have any accessories unfortunately. Regardless, let's open it and just have a quick look around. Here's the part number for reference. I got this off Asia Tees for around $20, a little under $20. The body wise, it's actually very well molded. So actually another surprising thing is that the overall thickness of the Lexan is actually very good, which is an improvement from the Power Wagon bodies that Team C does. As with those ones, particularly the back of the cab is very thin, and it rips really easily, but so far this one feels good. Obviously it does come with some window masks as well, and some strange stickers which don't really look right on the truck. So I'm just going to use the score and tear method. Basically just score a small line with a scalpel or hobby knife, and then just essentially tear the Lexan from there to get the body out. So here it is all fitted. It actually looks pretty nice right now. Personally, I think it still sits pretty tall, so I would like to trim down this part and lower the body more, especially in the front as well. I kind of want to just cut it flush on this line that's molded into the body. But if I do that, I'm going to have to lose the fenders, which again I don't really want to. I actually really like the look of the fenders, and also with this side step here, it actually fits the profile of the sliders pretty well. If I do decide to remove this, I might have to change the shape of the sliders, which again would mean I have to change the servo mounting and some of the aluminium battery plate as well. So I'm not sure how I'm going to do it now. Right now I've actually had the dig disconnected so far just to see how everything fits. Here's an update on it. I didn't film too much in between because I just got a bit carried away and just wanted to enjoy the process, but I did take update photos that I could go through. Regardless, biggest thing obviously, we have the body mounted and trimmed. So the fenders have been trimmed in slightly, and now it doesn't have any interference with the wheels at full compression and full lock steering, which is great. The sliders, I think for now I'll just keep them. They actually look fine to me. Obviously the biggest difference is the bumper and the rear cage here. We'll just start with the bumper here. This is basically from my old TRX. So I made this bumper a few months, maybe like half a year ago. In fact, for the TRX4, it's made with 1/8 inch stainless plate. And when I moved it over here, the mounting was the same, so I just reused it, and I just added this brush guard on top, and it clears the headlights. Next, obviously, we have our rear cage. It's sort of like a half cage. It doesn't extend the width of the truck because that just makes it a lot more difficult. How this cage was done is basically just there's this 1/8 inch stainless plate or stainless sheet that I cut out to shape, and that's bolted onto the chassis itself, and the stainless rods, they're not stainless tubes actually, these are solid rod, is just spot welded onto the plate itself, and then covered by this Lexan sheet that's been painted and then reinforced with aluminium tape to make it look like a aluminium or like a metal panel, and also to stop the paint from scratching, and that just covers this part, giving the illusion that this is a cage, but honestly this is just stainless plate. This also allows me to add new shock mounting positions here. I've laid down the shocks further, so it's effectively softer and the spring weight's not as strong. So that allows me to swap in the MST springs for the CMX, so longer springs rather than the drift springs I had on, and now the the springs are retained in all ranges of travel, so it feels much nicer. It also gives me a bit more down travel and up travel, so better articulation. But again, I'll have to go back in and tune the internal spring and thicken the shock oil. And then onto the main event, which is the body and the body mounting system. Pretty simple. As you can see, the cage actually comes into the body itself and basically locks the body in, and then you have just two front standard body posts. What you do is you just simply lift up the body up front and slide the body out forwards, and you can essentially remove it. The body where the cage comes in is reinforced by a 0.8mm stainless sheet with holes cut in and then just bolted to the body itself. Pretty simple. It's probably one of the most graceful solutions I've come up with so far, but other than that, the truck is basically exactly the same from when I ran it last time, and the rest of it is just some small things. I'm hoping to fit a little light bar here in the front where the bumper is, somewhere around here. And then also, since the motor actually runs pretty warm, I'm hoping to add this 40mm fan I have hanging about on top somewhere around here. So I'll just position the fan around here, and I'll just make a new bracket out of aluminium and just use these the original serval mounting screws on the dig to mount the fan. But yeah, other than that, this truck works pretty good. It adds up to around just under 8 pounds, I think. Not entirely sure, but it's around 3.6 kilograms, which is a bit heavier than I'd like. The cage is a little bit heavy. The cage, just the stainless rear cage itself, is 144 grams, which doesn't sound too heavy, but it's, you know, on the back of the truck and it's also pretty high up. So we'll have to see how that affects the handling of the truck. But other than that, I'm pretty happy with the truck right now. It does look a little odd on the side because the rear axle's actually way too far back, but the long wheelbase seems to be working pretty well for me personally, so I'm just going to stick with it for now. I can always just make some new links, obviously, and yeah, that's basically it. I've got some scale accessories here, might put them on, might not, but yeah, that's the update of the truck.